Toast. Say hi to the people, Toast. Get ready for your close-up, Toast. Stop licking me. God. She's just dead weight. Like, she's like... insane. You're gonna put her down, and she's gonna try and kill me.
She's not. Ow.
Stop! Not! Stop it! Stop! You have to be willing to let her eat you.
Dude, I don't know what the fuck I just watched. Honestly, don't know what the fuck I just watched. I don't know what the fuck I just watched. What did I just watch? I don't fucking know. I don't know what the fuck I just watched. What did I watch, bitch? What? Okay, we're getting into this. First of all, apologies because I'm definitely sick and I shouldn't even be filming a video right now. But I had a lot of things on my mind and things I needed to get off of my chest. And I'm home today because I'm sick. So I have some time to do this thing. And you know what? I feel kind of like I'm cheating you because I I just did a video on Gabbie Hanna. But I wanted to do another video because of the content that I saw today. That pissed me off. And per usual, her content pisses me off. But at the same time, it is so intriguing. It's like a car wreck. But yeah, there's been like a whole new host of TikToks that have been uploaded by her, where she's going off on these religious tangents, and the tangent is, as always, Christianity. Now, I want to give you a little bit of context and a little bit of backstory about myself. I grew up Christian from the moment that I was in the womb to the tomb. No, I'm not Christian anymore, but you know, I just like to say from the womb to the tomb. But that was the plan, essentially, was like for me to be Christian all my life, you know, from birth up until whatever. So I went to church like probably twice on a Sunday. My dad was a preacher and he went through different levels of becoming a preacher. So sometimes I would be at two services with different preachers. Like if he preached the next service, then I would be at the first one and at the second one or something like that. And then in between those two services, I would go to Sunday school. And in the summer, I would go to vacation Bible school. And I would also go to like Christian like camps and sleepaway things or whatever. And in addition to that, there was some kind of girls ministry thing that I was in, where we just kind of hung out and had sleepovers and talked about the Bible and watched VeggieTales, and ate pizza. And then I did praise dance. I ushered. I'm trying to remember everything that I did because it's a lot of fucking stuff. But yeah, so I know the religion through and fucking through. Whenever I watch like people who have just started to really get into it start to preach it to other people, I get really pissed off because one thing that new Christians don't understand is just how like intricate and complex this web of a religion is. And they also don't want to hear that either. And I've had this problem with a lot of new Christians, people who have just got into it, who are brand new to it, think that they know it. They speak with so much conviction because this is a new thing for them and they're excited and they're like, I gotta tell the world, I gotta share the good news. Share the good news correctly, okay? Because people like me are gonna clock you. I'm sorry I blew my nose in the mic that one time. I definitely forgot that I was recording. My God, dude. And, I mean, listen, Gabbie, if you're watching this, I'm sorry that I had to go in on you like this. But, it's like you say stuff and then, like, you don't think about it. And my issue with that video is that people are going to watch that and be like, she's sanctified. You can see it in the comments, like, and it just, like, drives me insane because she said things in that video. She said more wrong things in that video than she did correct things. That's what bothers me about the internet in general, is that people speak on their soapboxes and they're wrong. Like, they stand up there and they speak and they speak and they speak and it's just wrong. They put it out there. And it just worsens the misinformation and disinformation, because they're two different things, crisis that this country is in that has real consequences. And then the pearl clutching about Common Core is very Facebook boomerish. Like, I'm so sorry. I struggled really bad at math, and I really don't find Common Core to be that difficult. And I am just shocked and surprised at how much time Common Core took up in that video, okay? I'm not going to be any more specific about my job. I teach. That's basically it, okay? Point blank period, I teach. And so, obviously, like I said, I spend a lot of time around kids. I tutor as well. So, like I said, I know what I'm talking about. It's just fucking insane. Gabbie. Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, good luck to you in your Jesus journey, because you're gonna fucking need it. Be careful. Don't join the cult. Why did I fold my tissues like this? I don't know. Do you guys double up on tissues when you blow your nose? I feel like so much snot comes out of my nose that I have to double up. I'm sorry, that's really gross as well. So, I guess I want to start off by saying that obviously anyone can be a member of any religion that they want to. Totally fine. But that doesn't come without critique, right? And there's a whole community on here on YouTube and online in general of people who have deconstructed and people who have been traumatized by the church, who deserve a voice as well. So, with that being said, I'm not going in on her personally. I'm just critiquing the stuff that she is saying, because I don't feel like it's fair or morally correct to sit here and spread stuff. I was gonna say spread lies, but spread stuff that is just not exact truth to your young and impressionable fans. I guess you still have fans. Yeah. Okay, what was the video that I was watching that was starting to piss me off? It was a long one, but there's a lot of them. And I think one of the things that also really bothers me about her content in general is that every topic she speaks about it with so much conviction and with so much, like, confidence. It's like, have you ever thought about the fact that you might not be right? I don't know, but we'll talk about it together here. I don't know which one to click on first. I don't. My window's being blown open, messing with my lighting, I bet. Okay, here it was. Here's the one that made me go insane.
One thing that made reading the Bible really exciting and easy for me was reading it as I would any other story. You're like, well, what did he say? What happened next? Wait, that's totally not fair. Like, I'm really in love with this main character. Like, he's such an incredible person, and what's happening to him is terrible. So now you see the characters of the Bible as people that you could, like, relate with, as if you were reading literally a fiction story. You root for the characters, you feel for the characters. So I'm like, all right, let me just read this story. Like, lots of people have read it throughout time. I feel like a lot of people don't read it now, Like, let me see what was up. So pretty quickly I realized like nothing I'd ever heard about it is real. Like the things, like the reasons people come up with to discredit the Bible are just not true. But like you just have to read it to understand that. So nobody reads it. So when people say,
Okay, I was trying to figure out how to pause there for so long because we need to pause. When she talks about discrediting the Bible, that's that's a very loaded sentence. Um, but I do want to mention something, and you can look this up, and I'll probably link this guy as well because I follow this guy on Instagram who is a theologian scholar, and he quite literally like will go through the Bible and he will quite literally like debunk like all this false stuff that we've heard about the Bible. He'll debunk like that Leviticus phrase about homosexuality, like he's debunked that. He's debunked like a lot of stuff. Because in order to understand the Bible, you have to understand like the historical context that it was written in. And you can open it up and you can read it, but it's not really going to make any sense to you without the historical context and without like the cultural context and also the political context as well, because you can't separate Christianity and politics, at least in the United States of America, where the biggest voting bloc is made up of evangelical voters. So with all that being said, the lies that people make up to discredit the Bible is a really heavy accusation. And I don't think that when people are pointing out biblical misconceptions or things that are like morally gray or things that are just blatantly untrue or things that are just physically impossible, I think that when it comes to that, like you really have to understand, and this is something that new Christians don't understand, is who wrote what. Because the Bible has many different writers. And they're men, they're people. They're not God, right? They're people who lived in these times, I guess, or lived in these biblical times. And or I guess technically this would be like the I think like the Old Testament would technically be like BC maybe. Because that's before Christ's whole crucifixion or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a historian, but that's my best guess. So there's a lot of people who wrote these biblical stories. They claim that they were spoken to by God. Quite literally, you can say that about anything. And in fact, you could take this whole video and switch it around to where it applies to a completely different religion. Like it's that vague. And new Christians talk about Christianity with such a vagueness and a generality to it that you can tell that they really haven't done the work to really understand what makes Christianity Christianity. And do they understand like the big three and how the big three are connected and how the big three all worship the same God? Like, you know, this is stuff that like you would only understand and get and know if you were like born, forced, raised to be like in church. And never once did I think that I had the ability to get online and preach to other people about what I was learning in church, even though I have a much longer repertoire than her. I have way more experience than her. And I know more. And I'm not even saying that to be cocky, but like I literally know more. So, you know, I don't know. Let's keep fucking going, I guess.
full of misogyny or it's full of racism. Like none of these things are true if you read.
Okay, stop it. Okay, so like I said, understanding the Bible requires understanding historical context as well. But to say that there's no misogyny in the Bible is a blatant lie and incorrect. And I'm surprised that nobody called her out on that in these comments. I'm not sure if she's filtering the comments, or I'm not sure if maybe the people who just don't like her don't care that much anymore. That's just quite literally incorrect. There were caste systems. There was a system of slavery. There was a system of indentured servants. You know, there was like royal systems. There were kings. There were queens. Like at no point in the Bible did a woman have the same agency as a man, and that is misogyny.
Hi.
It's me interjecting as I edit this video with no pants on and my blankie. Um, so there was one character who stood out to me, one female character in the Bible who might have had some agency, or might have been regarded to being equal to a man. And the only woman that I can think of is, and if I'm pronouncing this correctly, because I've never heard someone say her name, something that they don't talk about a lot in church are women of the Bible. So forgive me for my lack of knowing about biblical women. But Salome, the woman who cut off the head of John the Baptist, might have been one of the most powerful women in the Bible, in my opinion. Obviously, Mary Magdalene is probably top dog because she gave birth literally to Jesus Christ in the Immaculate Conception. But I think that my point still stands, right? Like, this was a misogyny ridden society. So she's still incorrect. But I just wanted to mention Salome. It's an interesting story. I might make a video about it.
So I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know where she's going with this one because it's just blatantly incorrect. And then when you grow up in church, you also see misogyny happen right in front of you. If you're a girl, especially, the slut shaming starts at a very young age, in what you're allowed and not allowed to wear. It also starts in a very young age when you are, hanging out with boys or anyone of the opposite gender. And it also shows in whatever type of church that you're in, because there's so many different types. I grew up in a Baptist church, and it was frowned upon to have women in the pulpit. At no point in my career as a churchgoer did we have a female preacher or a female pastor. That never happened. So I just want to know, if there is no misogyny in the Bible, then where are Christians getting the misogyny that they're practicing in their churches? Do you know what I mean? So, like, she's just way off base and out of her depth here. To, like, a laughable degree. Like, she's way off base. Way, way, way off base.
Just spiritual texts. Everything. Like, it took a lot to be considered inspired by God and something that could be passed on to people. So these books were preserved. Like, we don't have a lot from, like, it's so old. And it's so much material. Okay, so many cultures have some type of story about a cataclysmic, I don't know if I said that right, flood. A lot of that.
Okay, Gabbie, what is your culture? I deserve that. What is your culture, girl? What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Because the stories that we share in my culture are probably not the same stories that you share in your culture. But I digress. I'm not sure what she means by comprehension, because you can read the Bible and you can comprehend the events that are going on, but it's like, once again, without all the historical context, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just a bunch of events that happen. And she says it reads like a storybook. It really does not read like a storybook. It reads like a Twitter timeline almost, where it's just like, this happened, and then this happened, and this happened, and this really bad thing happened, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this really good thing happened, and this happened. It's very much like not an easy read. And I don't know why she keeps talking about it like that. Like, oh, people just need to read it to figure out the truth. It's like, it drives me crazy. It's like when people tell people, oh, just Google it. Oh, really? Yeah, just Google it and click on one of the 10,000 wrong search results and become even more wrong about the subject that you were trying to learn more about. I'm getting annoyed.
but theirs is fiction and this one is real. And you're like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, this is actually the beginning of the universe. Like, this is recorded history that
Wrong. Fuck. Like, it's not the fucking beginning of the universe. What the fuck? Even Christians aren't even fucking saying that. What are you talking about? Did she talk to any other Christians? I dropped my tissue because I got so mad. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
lasted for so long and was taken so seriously by so many people that it's still a religion right now. It's been there for so long, which is just
Okay, and once again, longevity does not mean anything. Just because something has been around for a really long time doesn't mean it's a good thing. AIDS has been around for a really long time. Cancer has been around for a really long time. Donald Trump has been around for a really long time. This argument doesn't hold up. I can't get into it now, but the gist of why Christianity is so popular in America goes back to like Martin Luther, like 95 Theses nailed them to the wall era Catholicism. Like that, it goes way, way, way back. But Christianity, like I said earlier in the video, has huge political power in America. You can notice that because half of our laws are like biblically inspired. When you go to law school, you have to like read the Bible and know the Bible because so much of our law has been inspired by the Bible. This is not because Christianity is the truth. This is because a bunch of old white men in the like 1900s or 1800s, I don't even fucking know when all this shit went down, probably further than that, decided that this was going to be the deciding religion. Historically, you had arguments between different sects, like historically you had beef between Protestants and Catholics. You know, you had beef between Catholics and regular old Christians. You had beef between the black church and the white church. And, you know, like just not beef necessarily, but, you know, just disagreements and just, well, there was beef between Protestants and Catholics. But, you know, today you still do have different, you know, contentions between the different denominations, if that makes sense. So the reason that we call Christianity the colonizers' religion is because it is quite literally the colonizers' religion. Before Europeans came to Africa to take us over for the transatlantic slave trade, we were doing like African religions, which, you know, was like not voodoo per se, but I mean, like maybe voodoo was probably a part of it, but we were doing like our own African religions. You know, we weren't doing like Christianity because we were on a whole different continent. And so once that happened, Christianity became kind of like a scapegoat almost for slaves as well, as just something to believe in. Like once they were transported and forced to believe in that religion, they're like, okay, maybe this God will save us. It's all we fucking got. We don't have anything else. So that was a huge thing historically. It's being brought over, is how Christianity was brought over into the United States of America. Another huge thing is, and how it continues to have longevity, is just the fact that it's so goddamn politically powerful and it is a political tool. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the biggest voting bloc in the United States of America is evangelical Christians. This is why you're seeing the rollback on abortion rights. This is why you see attacks on trans rights. This is why you see attacks on gay rights. This is why you see attacks on black rights. This is why you see attacks on women's rights. This is why every single president has been a white Catholic or Christian man. Except for, 45. Or not 45, 44. But it's just so fucking tone deaf. Like, you really cannot separate Christianity from colonization, from racism, from misogyny, from sexism. you just can't. So yeah.
We write books, right? God, who created the whole universe, you don't think he could have written a book? You know what I mean? So I believe
Yeah, this right here is just fucking dumb because he didn't fucking write the book. Like, did you spend more than 10 minutes learning about this religion before you came on here and tried to tell everybody goddamn about it? My God. Like, this is like so embarrassing. I never in my life would I want to purposefully give out information that I am unsure of or that I like am new to. You know? I keep hitting the mic.
in God. I believe in a God who created the universe, who created us in his image, never has left me.
Okay, and that's just creationist theory. So if she's pushing that, then she doesn't believe in evolution, which, I mean, like, are we surprised, folks? Are we surprised? And then I don't think that people understand, like, the gravity of what they're saying. You're saying, I believe in a God who created the world. That means that you're a creationist. So stand on that, right? Like, you don't believe in the dinosaurs. You don't believe in the Big Bang. You know, the solar eclipse was some devil shit. Stand on it. Stand on it.
So I asked myself, okay, so if I believe this book got to me because God wanted me to have it, then why not just believe the whole thing? And the whole thing is about Jesus, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So, like, when you read the Bible and understand the Bible, okay, listen.
This whole shit about understanding the Bible is just a crock of shit, dude. You're not gonna read that thing cover to cover and understand it. Like, you're just not. Most books you're gonna need to think about for a minute if the writing is any bit decent. I hate this attitude of I read the Bible now and I understood it, and now I'm so enlightened, and you can be too. It is very culty. It is very culty, and I do argue that there are certain Christian sects. I don't know how to say this word. SECTS. That operate like cults. And I've seen it. So, as I said, I gave you my resume, my Jesus resume, in the beginning of the video. And then another tangent is I've had people come up to me and try to preach to me or minister to me. And the second that I shut them down, or I say something like, my dad's a preacher, or I say something like, yeah, I spent my whole life in church, they get incredibly just embarrassed down. Like it's a chop, like I let's keep it a buck. You don't know what you're talking about, and I do. And you assume that this total stranger walking down the street today needed you to minister to them. And now you feel like a fucking idiot because they did not need that.
Huge portion
Oh, wait,
of them are not
back.
even.
Let me go back because this is the part that really made me like.
And the whole thing is about Jesus, the Old Testament and the New Testament. So, like, when you read the Bible and understand the Bible, okay, listen. Want to hear what happened? Kids in America right now, a huge portion of them are not even proficient at reading. Hold on, let me check. 32% of students have proficient or above proficient reading skills. Most of America, most of the current students can barely read. You know what happens when we can't read? We can't read religious documents, historical documents.
Okay, I just don't know what the fuck this has to do with the video, but as most people know, I am an educator. And I spend all of my days in school with students. So whenever adults come online and start pearl clutching and panicking about the state of American education, I just have to fucking laugh. Because if you didn't know that it was in a dismal state, up until recently, or up until like 2020 pandemic era, then you just haven't been fucking paying attention. And a lot of people who raise alarms like this about kids and about education aren't doing anything to help kids or education. Like, you're not fucking doing anything. You're not volunteering anywhere. You're not working with kids. You're not tutoring someone who doesn't know how to fucking read. You're not doing shit. You're going online and you're being like, kids today don't know how to fucking read. When's the last time you hung out with a fucking kid? When's the last time? When is the last time? When's the last time you've been inside of the school? When? Tell me. Because she goes on in this video, I think, I don't know if she said it before this or after this, where she says that they're not teaching the kids cursive anymore. When I tell you that that one drives me up the goddamn wall, I feel like I feel insane when people say that. I hear that all of the time. And I want you to know today, they are teaching the kids cursive. And I will prove it to you. It's me. I'm doing it. I quite literally do cursive lessons. So I feel a certain type of way, especially when adults talk about kids. I'm really sensitive to the way that adults talk about kids as someone who works with kids. So I can't stand, and I don't know where the fuck she got the statistic. I would literally look again because, that could be a national statistic. It could be a state statistic. Like, it's different per state. It's different per county. It's different per city. Like, that is a really general overarching statistic. And that is what happens when you Google something and then click the first link. What the fuck? But, like I said, I'm really sensitive to the way that people fucking talk about kids. I work my ass off every day to make sure those kids fucking know how to read. So please don't start with me. Don't start, because I am doing my job as an educator for you to come online and be like, these kids don't know shit. It pisses me off. Pisses me all the way off. It pisses me off. It does, because me, myself, and a bunch of other amazing teachers that I know are doing the work. What are you doing to help? What are you doing? Not shit. Thanks. Thank you.
Documents, political documents, they stopped already teaching cursive.
What the fuck did I just say? We're still fucking teaching cursive!
Cursive. How can you read the Declaration of Independence? We hold...
Because there's just no version of the Declaration of Independence that exists in print. So you just gotta know cursive, right? So you can read. Bitch. They don't teach cursive so these kids can read the Declaration of Independence. They teach you cursive so you can sign documents. It's that simple!
Truths to be self-evident. That literally means we hold these truths to not even need to be explained, because it's so obvious and factual that...
Children, teens, youth, if you're listening, most things in life deserve an explanation. You don't just blindly follow things, okay? I shouldn't have to explain that. Look at history. You don't just blindly follow things. That's not how it works.
All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights.
Okay, so this is what I mean about Christianity snaking its way into the foundation of this country, like the literal fabric of this country. The Declaration of Independence was written by all white men. It was written for white men. It wasn't written for anyone else. So I don't know why she's standing on it so hard, like, oh, hell yeah, these kids need to understand the Declaration of Independence. Bitch, you need to understand the Constitution first. That's what you need to understand. Fuck the Declaration of Independence. Who gives a fuck about that? Who cares?
So the summary of all of this is they convince
Give me the summary, because I want to hear it.
The Bible is inaccurate and not worth reading. They stopped teaching cursive.
Ma'am, I'm gonna be honest with you right now. It's not worth reading. You can spark note it. You can get the most important events delivered to you or something if you Google it. Like, no, it's not worth the read. As someone who had to read it as a child, no, it's not worth the read. You're not gonna be any smarter or more enlightened because you opened up the Bible and you read it. You might feel like you are, and I'll tell you right now, that's a placebo effect. Okay, but you're not any more enlightened because you read the thing. Let's go on. There's only 2 minutes left. We're gonna get through this.
So that we could no longer read actual original copies of the document.
Ma'am, where are you going to find an original copy of the Declaration of Independence and the Bible? Where? What's going on right now?
Not a transcription that we're supposed to trust. And now the kids.
Okay, sorry to pause again, but I'm also curious about if you don't know this, there are like probably 50 to 100 different types of Bibles. Just different translations, different interpretations. There's just so many. There's more modern ones. There's ones that are supposed to be more closer to the original. I think the original Hebrew that they're written in. So I mean, there's Greek versions. Like there's all kinds of versions. Like there's different versions for different churches. There's different versions for different doctrines. I would be so curious to know what version she's reading and why she picked it. And I'm very confident that she cannot answer that second question.
Kids can't read. The school system is so bad.
It's so
that
bad.
Kids literally can't read.
It's so bad. They can't read.
These kids
It's so bad. Guys, they can't read. None of them. None of the kids can read, guys. It's so bad. Everything's so... They can't read. They can't add. They can't... I'm just like... I'm thrown. As someone who goes into work every day and watches kids read and do math and perform, I'm lost. I'm very lost. And if you care so much about these kids, these underprivileged children who do not know how to read, you need to open a Gabbie Zoolander center for the kids who can't read good. I'm stressed, and I know that she has a bunch of fucking siblings, so she should go to like her youngest one and be like, hey, do you learn cursive, or did you learn cursive? I don't know how old the youngest one is, but you should go and ask them. Be like, hey, did you learn cursive? Because these kids just aren't learning cursive today.
Going to be able to read. Nobody can read cursive. They're making math harder.
Hey, yo. She did not just say they're making math harder. Huh? How do you make math harder? Math has always been hard. Oh my god, her face is killing me. She believes this. She believes that they are in school making math harder. What? No. What are you talking about? I mean, like, the way that we have taught math has changed, yes. We use different versions, yes. Some people are doing Common Core math. Some people are doing Singaporean math. Like... I don't know how you become the kind of person who speaks about stuff that you just don't know shit about with so much conviction. And I hate to be like armchair diagnoses, but religious fanaticism and bipolar disorder go hand in hand, man. Sorry, it's not funny. Don't laugh. But, I mean, it's true. It's true. Okay, we're going to finish this fucking video. I'm done with this.
For math.
I knew she was going to mention this. And when she says break down the numbers, all she means is using a tens frame to do math. That I'm pretty sure that that's what she's referring to is the tens frames. And then also there is a lot of what do I say? A lot of panic about Common Core math. So when you Google it, just be careful. Like, make sure you're looking at like a teacher website and not like a right-wing news website that's like, look how the kids are adding and subtracting these days. Like, look how they're doing that. And what the hell does this have to do with the original point of the video?
We need to borrow from here. I believe that is 6, and then 2. We're gonna check it. That was 3.
Not you had to put that in the calculator now.
Minus 79. Yes, 263. Okay, so here's this.
Mind you, she is from Pennsylvania. Gabbie, maybe think about not having children. Just consider it, because you're gonna go nuts if you have to help with their homework. Okay, that was a wild fucking ride, guys. Thank you for being on it with me. My closing thoughts are that people with bigger platforms need to be more responsible, because even with the small following that I have, I leave you guys sources. I leave you guys like links. Like, I'm not just on here saying shit that I don't know about. I'm not a plumber, right? So I'm not going to come on here and tell you how to fix your toilet. Anyway, updates on me. Life is lifing, and I'm working on this new set of beaded rings, and you probably see me playing with it because they're so fucking fun. And it's not that I don't like jewelry. I don't like to wear jewelry. I just like to make it. So I'm gonna make like a fuck ton of these, and I'm gonna put them in the shop. Just an FYI. There's bracelets coming too. And there's some new pairs of beaded earrings. I've been doing a lot of bead work recently. If you didn't hear that, I said bead work. You probably didn't hear it because I was blowing my nose, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of bead work recently, and I've really been liking it, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna restock the shop soon, and I'll just post updates about that on the Twitter and on the Instagram and stuff. I'm gonna go though because I'm hot. I'm sweating a little bit, and I really want to lay down from the air conditioner so bad. And I don't know when this video is going to go up, but I did want to start making videos a little bit more that lean more into the deconstruction topic. And I was thinking about like maybe just doing like a series on deconstruction or something like that, because it is a process that I went through and I still am kind of going through a little bit, because it does show up like in my life and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun things to talk about on this channel. And that's honestly all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in. If you tuned in this far, everything, is in the description per usual. My link tree has all my stuff on it. Yeah. I will see you in another life. Goodbye.